Well, you can easily guess what this video is about. So I've just taken the shipping box off this, just got it a few minutes ago. And you can see what the original price was, probably whatever retail store it was bought from. Found this online. It was actually $100 plus the shipping, which was a decent price, and even though the box is torn up a bit, or more than a bit, I will keep it and probably at least patch it up somewhat. And they even include the original wrapper, but not, and of course the unused paperwork. Like, actually maybe they did use this one. Oh no, they didn't. That's the warranty card there, and the parts order form. Power adapter, $6.95. Joystick, $9.95. Paddle, $14.95. Compared those original prices to the insanely stupid prices you see on eBay now. Yeah, makes the modern scalpers look completely crazy. What's that? And a bonus, the owner's manual. Now this actually is cool because this is what I got back as my first Atari computer in February of '88. I had a 64 previous to that, of course, but this is the same way, just used. And I think I was at Toys R Us. I paid about $100. And I got this very same manual with it. With all the staples intact, though, but that's to be expected after 40 years or so. And this was in the photograph, which you may not be able to read that too well, but let me see. Yeah, this is the proburner for the 400, 800, and the XL computers. Apparently it was slightly internally different for the XE computers. One capacitor value changed from what I have read. And I'll be doing another video on this at some point, because I'll be using this, because from what I've seen, this will burn the 2532s and the 2532s and the 2516s, which are used in the 2600 cartridges, which I've got a few PCBs of. And of course I will have to probably straighten that out, maybe change that socket at some point. And this actually was, probably can't read that, but that actually was made, or at least the company's off. Might have been made in Toronto, but at least the company's offices or warehouse was in Toronto. And of course, here is the top of the computer. And it looks like it's got, well, it's got the plastic on the cartridge doors. Oh, look at this, check this out. After 40 or so years, some of the plastic wrap is still on the brushed aluminum parts. I think there's still some on here too. Oh, yeah. Let me see, get me. Hard to believe that in 40 years nobody ever took this gunk off. They really should, because like on my last one, it did gum up the cartridge bay doors as well. Like the adhesive does get, after years or decades, does etch up the aluminum sometimes. Of course, I will be giving this thing a full cleanup and probably retrofitting at least the keycaps anyways, because those have gotten a bit yellow and very dirty. And of course, this is probably where it was originally bought or serviced. Video Works Incorporated, professional video services in Waterloo, and yeah, don't bother calling that number, because that no doubt is probably long changed in 35 or 40 years since they sold this computer to whoever bought it the first time. Anyways, this will be a fairly short video, but you will see more of this. I may end up, well, of course, I'll end up recapping it and probably upgrading the basic from revision B to C. And I just found this chip in here. That is an eprom. Let's have a look. A Mitsubishi 2764. I have no idea what's in there. Some of the pins are bent, so it's been sitting loose for who knows how many years, but I will be popping this in the eprom programmer in a minute and seeing what's in there. Somebody may have had an OS ROM, or more likely that's a 6, well, it's an 8K, so it could be a basic ROM replacement somebody did. But I'll pop that in the eprom programmer and give you an update on a later video. Probably when I'm doing the recap and upgrades on this thing. So I'll see you later. Back again to part 2 of the mysterious 800XL. I'll just call it that for now. Just having a quick initial inspection of the inside, and it looks relatively decent. A little bit of wear or dust or something from on the RF shield. The keyboard looks as if it's got all its screws and grounding wires and stuff in place, so put that aside for the moment. And it actually looks to be in decent condition. It's a revision D motherboard, it looks like. And I think I'll just keep digging through it here with you lot watching on. And in spite of what I find as far as the condition of the caps and so on, I will be actually, it looks like it may have been missing a screw there, but that's not a big deal. The rest of them appear to be in place. So I can lift this out now. And of course, they always tend to catch here and some of these ports on the back, which is a bit of a nuisance, but done this plenty of times before, so should be able to get it out without any bustications. And as always, I have a bit of a hard time getting it out. Yeah, I'm gonna just give him a bit of leverage to get this, get these joystick connectors out first. Yeah, and what's that? And it's definitely got some wear. I guess it's just age-related wear on here. These screw heads on the bottom look a bit bigger than what I remember on the other 800 XLs I've seen, but so I don't know if anyone's ever been in here or not, but let me see. Okay, let's have a look at some of these solder joints. Yeah, it looks like there's some solder rosin here on all three pins of the channel selector switch, and the center one here, the power switch. So it looks like somebody has been in here before previously. And also this locking tab for the RF modulator right here has a bit of rosin. I'm not sure if that's factory, but it could be a hint that somebody has been into this before and just touched up some of these joints to make sure they don't break loose over time. And if so, then they were successful, because it hasn't busted loose. And in all the 800 XLs and 600 XLs I've had over the years, I've never actually owned anything so far that's used the PBI port. My first one was back in early '88, which I used for a year and a half or 2 years until it took a hit from something and developed a fault, a crack in the PCB or something. But anyways, I ended up trading that. There was a deal on at the time, Atari. If you traded in, I think an XL or one of the earlier machines, one of the 8-bit computers that is, you could get, I think it was 50 or 65 bucks. You could upgrade to a 65 XE, and then the computer store was going to it was in the west end of Toronto. It was between Shepherd and Finch, I think. It might have been on Keele Street, I think. Not sure I remember the name right. It was Compu something. But it was a well-known Atari dealer at the time. And anyways, I asked them, hey, is there a chance I could upgrade to a 130 XE? And they said, yeah, but it's 100. I think it was, I can't remember if it was 100 or 120, but that's what I did. And anyways, I ended up with a 130 XE right after my 800 XL, and had that for a whole lot of years. And I have another 130 XE that I just got last year, which is in the bedroom, which is just that way, past that wall there, along with the 800 XL I got, I guess, what, 2.5 years ago. And I'd gotten the 800 XL first, and then the 130 XE again, and this time I've got them at the same time, yeah. And these screws are a bit thinner. They don't quite screw in as firmly as my other XLs that I've had. So I think, yeah, I'm pretty sure somebody's been in here and used those other screws as replacements that for, oh yes, one more screw to come out, which I didn't see there, right here. No doubt you saw it before I did. Anyways, get this out of here. And the RF shields I will be reusing. Probably. Oh, wait. What's this? Ah, yes. Looks like a locking tab from something, and that looks like it's had some solder rework too, and looks like it had some solder flattened out, so it looks like some of these tabs had been soldered to the board, and right there it was unsoldered, and there was, looks like there's some rosin solder there, or rosin also here and here and here. It looks like somebody has been in here touching up some of these connections. Oh yeah, and it looks like there's traces of it all along here and here, which is one of the ICs. Probably the basic or the current or the OS ROM has been resoldered at one point. Wait, yeah. Okay. Yeah. That looks like, let me see here. Yeah. These two row pins that it looks have a bit of rosin or residual rosin on them from soldering. It looks like is right here with this socket and this other ROM. I always forget which is which, U8 and U4, which is the kernel or which is the OS ROM and which is the basic, but this one here has got a socket, and it doesn't look like the other sockets. It's a lot taller than, and it doesn't look like the other sockets that the other chips have. And this one here, it's not all of them have sockets. My other 800XL, all the chips are socketed, including the RAMs and these discrete logics here. Most of these small C's are soldered right to the board. And that was handy on the other one because I did have a failure on my other 800XL about 6 months or a year after I got it. It was the delay line, which is this sucker right here, had went out, and I'd actually ordered a bunch of parts from Best Electronics, like all the customized C's, the delay, GTA Ace, Antec, CPU, the VIA 6520, and the Pokey. I had all got replacements for them, which was kind of expensive, but all I needed was the delay line, and now I've got replacements for the others for whenever I need them. Anyways, while I'm here, I'm going to have a look at this chip here, this IC, and see what's in there. Actually, I'll give this one a try. Actually, yeah, that's, yeah, as you can tell, this one has, these pins are a bit bent on both sides, and yes, definitely got some residual solder on those things, so this is a bit unsoldered to put in whatever the heck this is. And I don't know what it is. This might be one of the Newell Industries from West Newell. He did some ROM replacements for the 8-bit computers, like the Fast Shift, which replaced, I think, the math routine ROM with different math routines. He had some others like the Omnimon, which was machine language monitor or mini assembler kind of thing, and OmniView, which I think was an 80 column type of setup he did. Anyways, I'm gonna but definitely those are because looking at these under a magnifying glass, I can definitely tell they have been unsoldered, so this no doubt came from the factory soldered in. I'm just straight making sure these things are more straight. So yeah, these have definitely been unsoldered from the main board. Whenever this went in, and since this socket is so much taller than the rest of them, I'm thinking that something is under there, or something is in there that is and I probably won't figure what that is until I turn this thing on and try it out. Anyways, back in a minute, or a second for you. Okay, back again. Did a bit of checking, and this is indeed the OS ROM here that came out of this extra tall socket, so I'm thinking this might be some kind of upgrade. Maybe one of the Newell Industries ones that I mentioned a few minutes ago, but anyways, I'll pop this back in for now. And have a go at it, plugging it in the next room. Give it a test and see what it is. I looked at the part number on this basic ROM here too, and what came out was, at least one site, excuse me, one site listed it as, I think it was Atari Max, they listed this as being the revision C ROM. Not 100% sure yet, but I'll have a look at that when I try it, and see how it goes. And it looks like all the electrolytic caps are still intact. I don't see any bulges or that any of them might have leaked, so that's a good sign. But I'll still replace them anyways, because at some point one of them or more will blow out, and I'll to replace them. And what was weird was some of the part numbers for the ships were listed under some of the PAL and CCAM 800XLs, but I don't think this would be because of this here. This is the channel selector switch for the modulator here, and it's a channel 2 and 3 switch, which is North America, so NTSC. I know at least the British ones, and I think all the PAL ones, had a single channel UHF modulator, which was on UHS usually somewhere in the 30s, like 35 or 36 or something like that. Maybe 34, I don't know, but North America, this looks like to be a North American. Yeah, so, but anyway, they'll probably be socketing this basic ROM as well once I find out what version it is, because I may in fact I'll probably just do, if this is the version B, which I think all the 800XLs had, I'll just replace that with the version C or the Altera Basic, which is the same as revision C, but done with a clean room approach, and it actually runs a bit faster than the normal Atari Basics. Oh, and one last thing, where did I put that? Oh yeah. This EPROM, the 2764, I found in the box. I did check this in my EPROM programmer, and found out that in fact it's not even Atari related. There was some, in the first few 100 bytes or so of the eprom, I found it had a copyright notice for both IBM and Phoenix BIOS from 84, 85, and 86. So this looks like it's at least part of, or a whole BIOS, like a PC type of BIOS from the mid-80s. So probably from an XD or an XT or an AT, maybe one of the clones of one of those or something. But anyways, I'll find out if that's I'll probably dump that to save it to disk and then maybe put it on archive.org or something, if, you know, in case it's not up there already. I'll have a look around for that. So anyways, that's it for now, and we'll see more of this later. Okay, as you can see, I'm working on the keyboard of a 800 XL I got recently, and it's seen bits of it in the earlier part of this video. The weird thing is it's got a rather unusual keyboard. That is, it's got these rather odd springs, if I can get it to stand up. Yeah, hopefully you can see that. It's a flared end of the spring which goes in here. Let's see, where's the 6 key? Yeah, there. You see these two flanges fit in the diagonal tabs, spaces for the tabs there, which is on the bottom of the key. And I did do some retro writing on these, which hopefully you can see that. It turned out rather well, but it's just getting these together, which is a bit of an oddity. There. I'll just do a couple of them in front of the camera here. Yeah, it's just a very oddball type of keyboard design, which I haven't seen on any of the other XLs that I've worked on. It's a typical ribbon cable connector, and I'll take a quick look on there. That's the Atari part number, and I'm assuming date codes 2284, I guess 22nd week of 84 perhaps. There's these logos here which looks like infinity with a diagonal line through it. I don't know if that shows up on the brown section there, but it's just a very oddball type of keyboard. And it's 1-800 XL, and of course I'm using my other one here. This is the first one I got in, I guess, late 2022 to replace the other stuff that disappeared on me after many years. But anyways, I think I mentioned this before, but the first one I had in early 88, February of 88, was an 800 XL. This is the one you see previously a few years ago on my channel with the, I got the side 3 for it, which I left in the other room, and inside is the ultimate 1 megabyte.